This is CJ back at it again with the GOAT Sports Talk. And you know that the NBA draft just occurred. And, it looks like the big news really was really not actually the draft picks, as it looked like it played out according to how it was looking, especially after a couple of moves were made, particularly with the Lakers moving D'Angelo Russell. We pretty much were locked in on knowing that Markelle Fultz was going to be number one. Number two was going to be Lonzo Ball. And of course, the picks kind of went according to how I thought they would go for the most part, as far as with the teams that everybody was following. It was a pretty good draft. When you look at those players, a lot of the players like in the top 8 to top 10 are very good, have a lot of potential. A lot of those guys can be all-star potential. It's just going to be depending on the fit of the team, the coaches, how hard they want it. But ultimately, man, the big thing, as we know, to talk about is Jimmy Butler. Completely left field, never saw it coming. Definitely understood that Chicago was possibly going to look to move him because really they were stuck in limbo. Like I said before, Chicago pretty much after LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh dealt with them in the playoff run with the Heat a couple of times, and pretty much they removed the soul out of them during that time. Of course, D-Rose got hurt. They broke that thing up. That was a team that did have, NBA Finals potential, no doubt about it. When you look at the talent that they had, MVP, then you have an emerging star, Jimmy Butler. You have, great defensive front court with Taj Gibson and, Joakim Noah. Then you had a scoring, decent scoring big man in Carlos Boozer. I mean, they had some players, man. They had some players, and it definitely looked like a team that could have formed into a championship caliber team, but it just didn't pan out. And right now at this point, Chicago's cutting their losses. I'm surprised that they made this trade this early, and what I mean by that is, I thought that they would try and maybe move Jimmy Butler, by next year, meaning that after the season was over, probably move him. But they saw that they basically felt they needed to do it. I wouldn't have done it if I were them. I would have just tried to, put together a team that could potentially make the playoffs and, just try and keep the fans happy, give them one more year of Wade. And maybe if the things don't work out midway through the season, you could try and buy out Wade and move him then. And then you can try and shop Jimmy Butler at the end of the season. Around this time of the year and probably score a whole bunch of draft picks and some talent. And to me, with what they received, I just don't know if that's going to be enough of a compensation. They pretty much got, the 7th pick this year. They got Zach LaVine. They got Chris Dunn. Zach LaVine is a very good talent. I think he's a talented guy. I said that his upside was just as high as Andrew Wiggins. I told many people that, in part because he's more of a fluid athlete. He is a very good three-point shooter. Actually, he was a very good three-point shooter this past year. And he has a handle. He played some point guard a little bit. And, he could be a guy that could be dynamic. Now, he is coming off of an injury, and you just don't know how he's going to recover. He is young. You're talking about sports science. They know how to get guys back to where they are. But, you don't know where he's going to be at. He might not be what he needs to be until probably the end of the season. That's if he's able to play, throughout the whole season. But he has, perennial all-star potential. I really believe that Zach LaVine does. Maybe him going to Chicago, being in the same place that Jordan built, maybe might have an extra motivation for him. I don't know if they're going to give him Tim Grover or something to basically get his game and his mental and his physical up to par, a la Michael Jordan. I don't know. I don't know if Michael Jordan's going to be able to talk to him, being that Michael Jordan owns a franchise in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, a lot of the things that they could have as a team, they don't have access to like the way people would think, so where like you can come to Houston and you get to talk to Akeem, and Akeem is like an advisor to the team. You don't get that with Chicago, man. So, I mean, other than probably Scottie Pippen, which Scottie Pippen is probably one of the most underrated players in NBA history, definitely top 50. He should be in everybody's top 50 if you really truly know the game of basketball. But Jimmy Butler, T-Wolves, let's go over what they got. They got Jimmy Butler. They got the 16th pick. The picks really don't matter. They're really just looking at that young talent and that they got that they gave to the Bulls, and then of course the veteran leadership that the T-Wolves sorely do need. So now the T-Wolves look like a dangerous team, and the cap space they got, man. Like, they got Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns on rookie deals. I mean, we talking about two guys that may make the All-Star team this season. This coming up season. Filthy. You know what I'm saying? That's just straight. Hey, man, Minnesota, that's a team to watch out for, man. They got Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler is still got 2 years left on his deal, so he's not leaving anytime soon unless they want to move him again. But next year he's going to be with the squad. He's in his prime. He's going to be the leader of that team, which they needed that balance, which is something that Philadelphia sorely lacks. With that young talent, they need a veteran dog player that can really grow with them the next 3 to 4 years and bring them along to a level where they might be able to compete for an Eastern Conference title over there. Whereas right now, when you look at the Timberwolves, they're in a very unique basketball situation that many teams are not in. And we'll get deeper into that probably in other pieces that we'll do and look into. But my goodness, man, I don't think people really understand what the Timberwolves really just did. What they did is just, it's something else. And from a cap space perspective, some of the things that they could do, only if players were willing to link up and go to Minnesota, man. You could, I mean, the things that they could do if a few players who didn't care about location were willing to go to Minnesota, there's some special things that can happen in Minneapolis. I mean, I can't even explain like what is possible. Okay, I mean, it's insane. We'll get to that. But again, I like the trade for the T-Wolves. For the Bulls, I don't understand what you're doing. So, I mean, we'll get into another piece after this one. But this is crazy. I like the move for the Timberwolves. They're going to be a team to watch next season. No doubt about it. NBA has to put them on TV. Okay? So, hey, we'll get to the next piece, man. Hey, holla at your boy.